Alright, I'm working on a Hammond B3 here. This is an MK1, I believe, one of the newer ones. And let's show y'all what's going on. Definitely some bus bar issues. Right there. Again. And you can hear it on several keys. Yeah. So we're going to take this apart, clean those bus bars, and then we're also going to put new pads on the pedals as well. So yeah, let's do that. Alright, so now I took the top off. So what you got to do is you got to take the back off first, and then there's going to be 3 screws on each side, and then the whole casing, the top casing, just lifts right off. And then what you want to do to get into the insides here, now we don't need to get into any of the electrical because we're just messing with bus bars. So we took off about 4 or 5 screws going down this tray here, and then 2 screws right here, and this whole thing just lifts like so. So now we just gotta keep on plugging. All right, so the next thing I do is I take off, not all organs have this, but I take off the little wooden pieces right here. There's some screws underneath and on the side. And the reason you take this off is because you gotta get the screws that are holding the manuals down, and they are located up under here. And what I use to get those out is a ratchet style screwdriver that kind of fits easily underneath here, and that's an easy way to get those screws out. And then as far as this guy goes, I don't actually take the screws out, I leave them in. This is just kind of like a cabinet drawer assembly, and you can just pinch these 2 sides together and slide one end out and pull the other end out and just leave it in place. You don't have to disconnect anything for the controller. So that's just a little tidbit there. And the reason you take it out is because there's 3 inconvenient screws that are holding the manuals down right over there that you gotta slide this down like I've just done, kind of get out of your way a little bit, and then use a screwdriver like this to get those bolts holding the manuals down. So now the manual should be free. Let's go to the top side. All right, so by removing those bolts underneath, the manual will just lift up like so, right? And then you can disconnect your wires and such. So yeah, let's begin. All right, so you got a few wires, you got a few cables. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 7. And then you also have your bus bars. And so I'm gonna go ahead and unplug those like so. These are your bus bar wires. Well, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this one-handed. Let me turn the camera off real quick. All right, so what I did was I had one hand pulling right here and the other hand pushing it off the pins, because you don't want to really put any stress on these wires as you pull. You could pull a wire out and then that'd definitely ruin your day there. So now that everything's disconnected, you'll just want to pull the manual out this way on each side, and it should come right out. You may have some cables you gotta untie. They may be tied down to the chassis, but that's how that works. Also, don't forget your little ground wire there too. I forgot it, and now I've got to undo it. So now the bottom one you just do the same way, but I go ahead and disconnect my bus bars first, untie them, and then I lift it up. And I go ahead and get my ground and undo it, and go ahead and get all that done. So when you lift it up, you're just undoing these cables here and this cable right here. So we'll do that. And I almost forgot, you got some screws underneath here as well, so that you can get the bottom manual out. So don't forget these screws like I have done. So all right, so now that I got the manuals out, here's what it looks like, just to show you. And then here's what the manuals look like. And I've got my, I'm gonna clean it first with some keyboard detailer. I've got some deoxit if I need it, clean anything with, and then the Busbar Cleaning is never dull. And I use these little polishing cloths. These things are great. Works. I'm not a big fan of the terry cloths. I like these. They're real smooth and won't leave any lint or residue. And then I use this just to clean the outside. So yeah, of course I got some gloves. All right, let's get to cleaning. All right, it looks a whole lot better after the Corey detailer and that polishing cloth. And then so now what we've got to do is we've got to, there's your bus bars. You've got to loosen these two screws right here. Don't take them all the way out, just loosen them enough so that you can pull the bus bars through. So that's what we're going to do next. So I'm going to turn it on over on the other side and loosen those. Also, make sure there's no bus bars pressed down or any keys pressed down or anything like that. You don't want anything pressed down. All right, so now I got it stabilized on its side there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at one end or the other. It doesn't matter. You can choose whichever one you want. If you want to start at the bottom left, pull that one out, then go to the next one. Just make sure you know which direction you're going and which ones, you know, of course, haven't been cleaned or have been cleaned, all that jazz. You don't want to double your work or not do enough. So you just simply, if I'm going to start right there, you just simply pull it out like so. And what you'll need is, let's go ahead and get our cloth ready here. All right, so now I have my cloth, I have this guy, I'm this never dull, and so what I'm going to do is, if I can do this one-handed here, I don't think I'll be able to, but I'm going to slide this out ever so slightly. Do not bend it at all. I'm going to slide it out. So now I'm going to try to position my phone on me right here. Now, let's see if I can do it like so. Yeah, that'll work. So I'm going to slide it out. I'm going to take this hand, since I have the glove on and the polishing pad, I'm just going to hold it like so. And do not bend it, just keep it straight. There we are. There's the bus bar. Now I take my never dull, and then I start rubbing it down. I don't rub it up, I just rub it in one direction, and I keep twisting the wire in my hand. Never bend it. Don't put tension on it too much. We're just gonna go down the wire like so, just down. All right, I'll show you all the dirt that I get afterwards. All right, so now what I do, after I've cleaned it, and I'll show you guys all the dirt here in a minute, but get back down here, find the hole, and I just slowly feed it to start with, like so. Just slowly feed it. If you feel any kink, do not push it through that kink at all. You just slowly slide it in. Very, very slowly. You've worked real hard to get it out of the organ. Now you're working hard to clean it. We don't want any snag. If you do get a snag like I've got right here, you just twist. There you go. See how I just twisted a little bit and it went in? There we go. Now I'm going to do the pink one. I'm just going to go down there from there, but let's look at all the dirt I got off that. Look at all that dirt that came off of that one. And you can see it, right? So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to fold this over, get some clean spots, and then the next one I'm going to completely flip over and do this side where it's clean. And so I do 2 bus bars per cloth, 2 bus bars per one of these, and then I throw those away. I get a new sheet and a new sheet. So yeah, 2, get a new sheet, and there'll be 5 sheets, I think, per bus bar. I think, right? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, 5 sheets per bus bar. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the rest of them, and then we'll take a look at all the dirt I was able to get off these guys. So, all right, once you clean the bus bars and get them all back in there, you want to leave a little room sticking out. So when you do the bus bar shift, you got some room to play with a little bit. And then of course you tighten these guys back down over here. And then you're ready to put this manual back in. All right, let's go ahead and get this one back in. All right, now starting on the top bus bar here. And I went ahead and cleaned the manual, and then I loosened the bus bar screws. And so now I'm going to clean the bus bars. And here's all the trash I got so far from the bottom layer, and we're gonna start fresh with new pads and new never dull and all that stuff. I got new gloves on and everything, so we're starting fresh with this manual. All right, this time I'm gonna actually show you how to clean the bus bars. I didn't on the last one, but I guess I'll show you on this top manual here. So I'm gonna start on this side this time instead of on the left side, and that way you can see you can do it any way you want, just as long as you keep track of everything. So yeah, I got my cloth here, got my pad, my never dull pad. So let's go ahead and pull this out here. This right here. I just pull it straight out. I don't bend it. All right. And now I'm going to turn my camera around, if I can. So now I've got the wire turned around this way, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to swipe. One. So there's a piece of dirt right there. So now I'm going to find a new piece on the cloth. I'm going to go to the back here. I'm just going to keep rotating my bus bar this way. So counterclockwise. You can do it any way you want. That's just how I keep up with it. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Caught right here. 10, 11, 12. Keep rotating it. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and that looks pretty good. All right, now we're gonna get our cloth here. And so now count it, instead of I was doing the never dull counterclockwise, I'm gonna do this clockwise. 1, 2, oh man, look at all that dirt I'm getting off. Wow. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, keep rotating it, 17, 18, 19, and 20. I got a good bit of dirt off that. Look at all that dirt. Off that guy. All right, so now let's put it back in the organ here. All right, so now I just come around and slide it back in place. I just slowly feed it. Do not do this with your bare hands. The oils from your fingers will tarnish the bus bars. You have to wear gloves, or don't ever touch the wire. Either one. And there we are. That's how I do it. All right, done with this manual now. So I left me a little room down here on the end, and I tightened up the screws over here. And then on this one, it had a little twist tie. So I twist tied it right back where it was. And now I'm gonna put it back in the organ here. All right, just got the manuals in here. Top and bottom manual. Haven't screwed anything really down yet. Fixing to test it now. So I plugged in the power, and now I'm gonna turn it on. And we're gonna let it turn on for a minute. Press the preset down, make sure I got some drawbars going on, and we'll test those keys again. All right, so now if we press it slowly, see, it just comes right on just like that. Let's turn the vibrato off. Same with the top. Soft. Much cleaner. Don't hear any static. Much cleaner. Yep, I think that'll do the trick. Now we're going to move on to the pedals once I get this all put back together. So when repairing the pedals on a newer organ, you got to take the top cover off here, and then I unplug it from down there. And then you take the tongs off here, and then here, I'll remove this guy right here so you can see what it looks like. You remove the tong. Okay. Well, hell. There we go. You remove the tong just by sliding straight out. You remove this plastic cover here, and then your pad will just pop right out. And then you go in with new sets of pads. But first you gotta clean it with deoxit or something like that. And that's what I've already done on these guys. So I'm gonna put some new pads in and put those back together. Now I've got my new pads in, and so I'm gonna take a plastic piece here and just, let's do this one so you can see a little better. I'm just gonna kind of pop it in on one side and pop it in on the other. And then I'll put my screw and then put the tongue back on. So there we go. That's how you do it. All right, got the pedals hooked up. Before I put them under, I'm gonna test them out. Oh yeah. Oops, I hit one with my leg here. Great. All right, let me put it back in. also lubricated the motors in the Leslie, and the Leslie horn has a place where you put oil. I also noticed their tubes were starting to corrode at the bottom. Let's see. They're not really showing it, but they were starting to corrode a little bit. White powder was coming up. And this Leslie was pretty noisy, just sitting in kind of like this idle state that it is now. So I went ahead and changed these tubes out. I'm gonna, of course, give these back to them so they can use them in an emergency. And I just went ahead and replaced all of them with some new ones. But I'll give those to them and they can use it in an emergency, but it's a whole lot quieter now. And it's super loud too. Let's... It's super loud. So I'm gonna put this back into place, and then I'm gonna work on the organ bench here. It has seen better days, so I'll see what I can do with that. All right, I fixed the bench. We're good to go. It closes and opens. Now let's test the organ out here. This. Then we're going to test these guys. Then we're going to test these guys. Pedals, got the pedals. I'm gonna put some vibrato on, and here's vibrato 1, vibrato 3, and C3 here. We're gonna take it out. We're gonna check the percussion. On, soft, fast, third. Beautiful. Normal volume. Great. Slow. Great. Seconds. That's it. Looks like we're working fine here. Hope y'all enjoyed this video. Again, do not perform any of these tasks I've done unless you're a trained professional. And if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.